The Capuchin friars share a brief reflection on the significance of various biblical symbols every day during this Lenten season.
Lenten greetings to you, dear brothers and sisters. Today we are going to reflect on the symbolism of fish. We, the coastal people, the people in this coastal belt, are very much familiar with fish because our meals are incomplete without fish. But one thing is sure, God created fish, because in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 we find, "Let us make man in our own image and likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea." And in the verse 28 we still find, "Be fruitful and multiply and have dominion over the fish of the sea." That is, God himself is telling man where the fish of the sea is. If you go to the Old Testament, there are minor verses in the Bible wherein we find fish is being compared to men. That is to say, man is equal to the fish of the sea. But more concretely we find in the life of Prophet Jonah. In the life of Prophet Jonah, fish becomes an instrument of God's mission. In and through the fish that God's mission is accomplished. Secondly, fish becomes a protection, an abode wherein Jonah is swallowed and later on is vomited in an island where he has to accomplish the mission of God. Thirdly, fish becomes a place wherein Jonah is prepared in order to achieve the mission of God. To have a Christological meaning, fish is a sign of the tomb of Christ himself, wherein he was prepared to have the resurrection moment. If we come to the life of Tobit and Sarah, the burning of the liver of fish and the heart ends up in deliverance. Sarah was delivered from the demon. In the life of Tobit, we find the smearing of the gall of fish over the eyes of Tobit brings him healing. Surely, fish is a symbolism of healing too. In the New Testament, you find Jesus telling his disciples, "I will make you fishers of men." That is to say, all are worthy of the salvation of God, and we are the fish in the sea of God. Secondly, fish is a symbol of food, wherein Jesus fed 5,000 people with 2 fish and 4,000 people with few small fish. And thirdly, fish refers to spiritual blindness. If we look into the life of St. Paul, we see when Paul went blind after the experience of Christ, through the instrumentality of Ananias, he is healed. And in the process of healing, the scales, something like the scales of fish, fall from his eyes. And therefore, fish is a symbol of spiritual blindness. So what is the message for us in this symbolism of fish? That we are the fish in the sea of God. We are worthy of the salvation of God, for God's salvation is gratuitous. Secondly, fish is a symbol of God's abode for us, where we are prepared, where we are saved. And let us make use of this God's abode to be worthy of his salvation. Wishing you a great Lenten season.